Hello.
Sorry.
We're off to a good start already.
I was trying to distract us.
So, yeah, I don't think we're going to cut that. Let's just go with that.
Let's just go with it. All right.
So, welcome to the Redhead and the Bearded Beauty. I am the Bearded Beauty.
I'm the Redhead. I'm messing stuff up today.
Yeah.
Sorry.
This is our best start yet.
I think so.
Yeah.
Really professional work here being done.
Headhunters are going to come for us now, and we want you on TV for
Man,
us.
why aren't you guys getting ratings like My Favorite Murder or the Joe Rogan podcast?
Yeah, or even Coffee Break.
Or even Coffee Break. They are the gold standard for municipal podcasts in Wichita.
Inside City Hall.
Inside City Hall. Yep.
So a while back, I think we took some heat from someone on social saying we're not tackling the big issues on this show. So I thought today we should take on a big issue and maybe, we've had a lot going on in City Hall the last couple of weeks. We need to address the elephant in the room.
I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about the elephant in the room.
You don't want to talk about the elephant in the
room? There it is.
We have a literal elephant, giant stuffed elephant in the room.
Yeah, for those listening. Giant stuffed elephant as a tongue-in-cheek.
Yes. So there you go. We addressed the elephant in the room.
There you have it. We addressed it. Hi, elephant.
We talked about it, and
we're done.
So now we're going to move on.
Great. So we have a new police chief.
We do have a new police chief. Pretty exciting. He's
Joe Sullivan.
Start here in, what was it?
December.
Okay.
Troy Livingston, interim chief, is going to help with his onboarding, stay on a couple weeks while he starts. Really glad to have him. The city, stop, Nolan, stop zooming in. Anyway, so we we have our Twitter feed right now is just filled with people from Philly really saying, "Oh, well, we'll miss you." So that's really nice to see, and he wrote a really nice note to the community ahead of starting. So thanks for that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to him starting. Yeah,
that'll be great, and hopefully we can get him on the podcast.
Yes,
my goal is to get him before Coffee Break gets him.
Well,
so we can get the scoop.
We need to do that, and they have a lot better viewers than we do. So
so we need the viewers.
We need to steal those from them. I'm fairly certain the only people who watch this is mostly an internal communication tool at this point, except for maybe 2-3 people. So yeah.
So maybe your mom, my mom.
My mom does not watch
staff.
this. Yeah,
your mom
no.
doesn't watch it.
She's watched a couple, and she told me I was too pale, so she's not watching anymore.
Hurts her eyes.
Yeah. Which I don't blame her, but
you should tell her to try editing this thing.
Yeah. Yup.
It's gonna be that kind of day.
Yeah. The worst is when I'm on KWCH with Felicia, who is just gorgeous and also a very petite person, and I look like the size of a mountain troll next to her. Like, I'm 5'5", and so like a normal sized person, and she comes up to like my clavicles. Very tiny, very pretty. And I just I'm sitting hulking in the chair next to her in the studio, and it's not good.
And you were complaining that the lighting is just perfect for her.
Yeah, the lighting is perfect for her and gorgeous. And I look like a Victorian ghost child who has come to haunt the studios and talk about street maintenance or whatever I'm there to talk about. It's not good. I
will say there is something. I'm going to pick on you while you're down here.
Thanks.
Right now. But when you are on TV, sometimes the automatic iris on the cameras does not like the red hair.
It does not like the red hair. The problem is that the brightness of the red hair with the paleness of the skin, it doesn't do well. So, well, whatever. So
moving on.
What
else we got going on?
So we've got the new police chief. End of ozone season. We'll have Nina here on in just a few minutes. Yep. Have her on the podcast to talk about that. Not really the sexiest thing that we do, but one that's really important. Mayor was teasing me this morning about putting ozone on the media briefing, but it is really crucial for our city and the health and the economy. So we'll talk about that.
Talk about ozone.
Ozone. Yep. We also, on the 28th, which is next week, we will have the final deadline for an RFI, which is a request for information on reuse for the Wichita Public Library, old Wichita Public Library building on 223 Main.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm not confirming, but that's the address.
Yes.
I never want to do that, but
I think it is. But that's really cool. So right now, basically what we're doing is we're looking for ideas from organizations on how they might utilize that space. So make a business case for what you might be doing, and that'll inform future conversations and I don't want to promise anything, but the idea is that we will use those ideas to shape an RFP or an RFQ. So in the future, but
so we can put that building to use.
Put that building to use.
What are some things you think would be good to go in there?
Oh, that's a good question. I personally, this is a personal piece of information, I'm not a huge fan of brutalist style architecture.
I'm not either.
It's not my jam.
Yep.
But in that building is probably one of the better examples, more functional and usable, and the big windows are really nice. So I do think that building has good adaptive reuse. Lots of possibilities. We've had some of our community partners put that out to folks. Business Journal just did a really good article. Thanks, Shelby, for that, on that. And we've heard some ideas, mainly today, after the briefing. There's lots of cheesecake factories, which 100% it will not be. I'm just going to say that.
I think that, yeah. They've told us by now that they're not coming.
They're not coming to Wichita. We're really prioritizing arts and nonprofits, is what we'd like to see the building go for. But in terms of what ideally, okay,
doesn't have to represent the city. Don't come for either one of us if we give our ideas here. It's just what we think would be cool.
Well, if it were me, even though we're not targeting retail, I just want to see a giant anthropology, just the biggest anthropology in this, or an IKEA, either one of those two.
IKEA would be cool.
Yeah, that's what I want personally. But in terms of like arts organizations, I want to see like a Meow Wolf that you would find in Denver. That would be really cool, like an immersive arts experience. What about you? What's your goal?
I kind of would lean towards the idea of Cheesecake Factory, but not Cheesecake Factory. I'm not going to be begging on. But I think a nice restaurant with those large windows and have a view of downtown out there would be cool. And then you could have office or living space up above in the upper floors. I think that would be kind of cool. So,
that is really cool. I have been on the roof of the old library.
Have you?
I have. I've been all over that building. What roofs have you been on in city?
Within the city?
Within the city.
I have been on top of City Hall.
Yes. I'm jealous of that.
I have been on not the top of the keeper, like on top of the statue, but like on the rocks at the feet of the keeper.
That's cool.
Does that count?
That counts, yeah.
I'm trying to think there's other buildings other than like parking garages to go get shots for different stuff. But that's the only ones I can think of right now.
I've been on top of the old library. I've been on top of Union Station. Trying to think where else. I want to go on top of all of the roofs of the buildings.
I want to get on top of Century 2. I think that would be cool.
Oh, yeah. So, John Hale, if you're watching, we want to go on top of Century 2.
I want to do like a video tour of C2.
Yeah, which Nolan got to do. Nolan got to go on the roof of Century 2, which was cool.
Very nice.
I feel like Nolan's been in like fire department vehicles up on the bucket trucks and stuff.
Yeah. Speaking of fire department, yes, top of their training center. So.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I haven't been on the top of that, but that's neat.
Yep.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Should we?
Let's get on to Nina.
Let's bring on Nina.
Yeah, before we say something we would regret. And so let's take a quick break, and we're going to bring on Nina and talk about the end of ozone season.
Yeah.
So, all right, we'll be right back.
All right, welcome back. Thanks so much. We have Nina Rasmussen here from, what is your official title?
Environmental Quality Specialist.
That's awesome. I'm very interested in ozone, which is something that you handle, among other things. Mm-hmm. But we're wrapping up ozone season here. And so tell us, just kick off by...
Who are you? What do you do, not only here for the city of Wichita, but when you're not here? Who's Nina?
So for the city of Wichita, my position is housed under Public Works and Utilities. So I administer our air quality program, and that is an effort that is done with the help of KDHE. They are the ones who monitor and pull that data for us. And we also work in collaboration with the EPA to make sure that we are maintaining National Ambient Air Quality Standards, or NAAQS. So we have a collaborative relationship with them, make sure that we are educating the public, letting them know about why it's important to have clean air, what some of those health impacts may be, and then try new things, innovate, and try and find ways to reach new people. Aside from that, I also am involved in a lot of the sustainability work that the city is implementing. So I facilitate the recently formed Sustainability Integration Board. I'm the staff liaison there, and I'm also the point person whenever they need research or information brought in. That way we can get things done a little bit faster and have all the right information before we go and make decisions. So I spend a lot of my time talking to different people, delving into different areas so that we can start planning for a more robust plan regarding sustainability. And I think that's about it.
Oh, we're going to talk real quick about the worst thing that we make you do as part of your job.
Oh, yes.
Do you want to break the mystery?
Sure. I am the resident Beatrice person.
For those who don't know, explain what Beatrice is.
Beatrice is a lovely giant bumblebee.
Beatrice.
Yes, 2 E's. She is our mascot for air quality. She has a whole backstory. She has asthma, and that's why she cares a lot about keeping our air clean.
We have a really sick video on the Be Airware website.
Yes, I killed Beatrice.
It's an animation where Beatrice is flying along and the bad air hits her and she dies. She dies. It's very sick.
It's dark.
It's dark.
She just kind of plops on the ground and you can hear the plop.
There's a little X over her eyes and stuff. It's really sad.
Yeah.
Bees are so important. Save the bees.
Yeah, we should make something a little more positive. Maybe.
No, we want people to know. This is important stuff. The mayor made fun of us at the briefing today because I put in ozone quality. The end of ozone season is coming up at the end of the month. Runs from March until October. Mm-hmm. But ozone really is important, not only for personal health, but for economic reasons, too. We can lose a lot of money if we're not in compliance.
Absolutely. So aside from the health impacts, if we aren't maintaining national standards, then that allows the state to put together a state implementation plan.
Yes.
That essentially means that they can impose regulations, fines, anything like that to force us to be compliant and really bring those emissions down through another tactic. And that's not a position where we want to be. Yeah. That usually means that those costs are going to be passed on to consumers. Mm-hmm. So we see higher gas prices. Industry that we have here are also going to be passing on those costs to consumers through their products. So we just see this increased cost of living really creep up. And so that's something we really want to avoid. And we also want to avoid losing those industries. They may choose to pick up and go somewhere else where there is less regulation, where the air is a little bit better because they just don't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
So we wanted to avoid that, keep our community healthy and safe, and also keep that business aspect thriving.
Yeah, well, I know that we see most of our ozone alert days, which you issue and send to me and stuff. We get it out around really hot days, but also around agricultural burning. So that's always a consideration in this community. Not necessarily that here in the city limits, but around us there's a lot of agricultural areas, and that particulate matter gets into our air. We always get questions about, I'm going to let you address this. So what about masks? Do the masks that we wore like during COVID help during high ozone days?
Yes, actually, masks should help, especially with particulate matter. So we have 3 areas that are generally looked at on a federal scale as far as, poor air quality substances. There's ozone, particulate matter 2.5, and particulate matter 10, and those are just different sizes. But a typical mask that you would wear during COVID is going to help really cut that down as far as what you're breathing into your lungs. So yeah, very helpful.
And before we get too much further, we kind of like to kick these things off with a little game we call 2 Truths and a Lie. So did you come equipped with 2 truths and a lie?
I did.
All right, we'll let you kick it off.
All right, so my 2 truths and a lie. I've lived in 4 states. I have a sister, and one of my favorite hobbies is pottery.
That's pretty good, because I could believe all of them. But I'm going to go with the first one as the lie. I'm going to say it's like 2 or 3 states. So I'll go 3 states. How about you?
I don't think pottery is your favorite hobby. I'm going to go with the third one as the lie.
Sorry, guys.
Oh.
I don't have a sister. I have a brother.
Lord. Well, we lie. We're bad at this. What are the states that you've lived in?
California, Arizona, Washington, and Kansas.
Did you move for work or family?
Yeah, born in California, barely remember it. Lived most of my life in Arizona. Went to Washington for school, and then came here for work.
That's awesome.
Very nice. Megan, you want to go next?
All right. So, I don't know. I was looking at the website, and I was doing some licensing stuff earlier this week. So, the city of Wichita actually offers a free online food handler class at servefood.wichita.gov. You can go and take that online class. Stop looking at my sheet. I see you. Oh.
I'll turn my computer, too.
Like I'm in school and people cheat off of me. Then we also handle licensing and inspection of restaurants, grocery stores, and other food establishments, as well as we handle licensing of street and sidewalk vendors, so like food trucks and all that fun stuff.
I'm going to say the first one is a lie, because I was looking that information up also, because I don't think you have to have a food handler's license anymore.
You're correct. You don't have to have a food handler license.
So, boom.
No, that's not. I'm not saying that you're correct about that one. I'm just saying you're correct. We don't have to have a food handler license.
What was the second one?
The second one was we handle the licensing and inspection of restaurants, grocery stores, and other food establishments.
I don't think that's. I'm going to say that one's the lie.
You are correct. The Kansas Agriculture handles that, but we do handle licensing of sidewalk and street vendors. Although if you're a food vendor, you also have to get those Kansas oversight licenses. But yeah, we do offer a free food handler class online, even though it's not required. We have all of those materials. So,
well, darn it. Thought I was going to be like all correct this time.
Sorry.
Not much better than last week when I think I told 3 lies. So.
We argued the entire time over everyone was argued over.
Well, I started off, I forgot that I had already told my lie, and I'm like, okay, I just need to flip these numbers on the next one. So I flipped the numbers, and so then that was 2 lies, and then the other one, I just got bad information. So I had 3 lies. So
I was argumentative last week, is the problem.
That's kind of how we are most of the time. We argue with each other. So,
yeah.
All right. As of October 3rd of this year, the city has approved rebates for 845 devices totaling a little over $80,000 as part of the water rebate program. You're going to look this up, aren't you?
No. Oh. I'm getting a call from Haley.
Oh, okay.
Hi, Haley.
Hi. How you doing? You're going to have to wait like 20 minutes. As part of the lawn care rebate program, you can get rebates for new and used or refurbished lawn equipment. And the new terminal, it's not really that new, it's been around several years now, but as part of Dwight D. Eisenhower National Airport, it was designed and constructed in accordance with Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design, or LEED guidelines. So which one is not true?
See the first one again?
As of October 3rd, the city has approved rebates for 845 devices totaling a little over $80,000 as part of the Wichita Water Rebate Program.
I have the memory of a potato because we just did a social about our rebates, and I don't remember because there's so many numbers. I think that's the line. I don't think it's that high.
Don't think which part is that high?
I don't think we've issued 80,000 so far.
Okay, how about you?
Well, I happen to have insider knowledge on the lawn care rebate program, and I know that refurbished equipment does not qualify.
It does not qualify.
So that is a lie.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Little detail I was trying to throw you off there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think we have about 20,000 left in the water rebate. We have done 80,000, 845 devices, and new lawn equipment, electric, not gas, correct, can qualify for the $50 rebate, but not refurbished or used.
Also self-propelled, like push mowers and stuff, right?
Yeah, I had somebody ask me, if you want to go a little unconventional and have a scythe or something to, really old school.
Dangerous.
Sure.
Dangerous. All right, we're going to do something real quick that we haven't done on this podcast yet, which is breaking news, which is useless because this will come out.
Yeah, this will come out like tomorrow.
Yeah. But I just got word that the county is actually issuing a burn ban in just a few minutes. Gonna send that out because of the high winds and dry conditions and stuff. So that's something that you usually work on with WFD around ozone season is burn ban to help reduce ozone, but this is a burn ban for safety. So.
Very good. Yeah. It's been very dry, and we have higher fire danger. So
yes, but you're familiar with how popular those burn bans are.
Oh yes,
yeah, love that feedback. So people are very angry every time we have to do that. But yeah, never fun.
So talk a little bit about that. We talk about burn bans and that sort of thing. So when we're in ozone season, one of the big contributors to our ozone going out of compliance, especially in the spring, is when they're burning up in the Flint Hills and that sort of thing. They have those burn days. Talk a little bit about that, how that contributes, and then also not all of our high ozone days are because of that. What can people do to help with our ozone?
Sure. So one of the issues that we face is that we have a lot of transported ozone. So that's ozone that's not necessarily originating here within the city. It's coming from other sources, so that could be burning in the Flint Hills. We also have, those southerly winds that bring up pollution from Texas and Oklahoma, and so that can be really hard to manage because a lot of that is out of our control. But what we can manage here are emissions on the road and from our homes. Buildings create a lot of emissions just through energy usage, and so trying to be more energy efficient at home can really help bring down our local emissions and bring down that pollution. Carpooling or driving less, being more mindful about combining trips, taking public transportation, or choosing to walk or ride a bicycle, when it's nice out. Just being mindful of the actions that each person is taking can be really helpful. We stress not idling your vehicle, especially if you're going through a drive-through or if you're stuck at the tracks. It's really simple to just turn off your car and wait, and really cut down those tailpipe emissions. And we just encourage people to learn more about it and have an open mind about trying to do this for the community and really to benefit those who have respiratory conditions and might see more aggravation from ozone. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about the burning, so we just ask people if it's too bad, they might consider staying inside and waiting until air conditions do improve.
Very good.
You can really tell too when the ozone is bad. I think I've gotten really good at smelling it. Sometimes you can smell the ozone.
Oh yeah.
There have been a couple times when I'm like, is there high ozone, Nina? And I texted you and I was completely wrong. So
it depends, and sometimes it's PM 2.5 or there's just dust being kicked up, especially when we haven't seen rain in a while. It can be a little challenging to tell, and things can change on a dime. Yeah. So that's it can be really difficult to predict. But one thing that people can do if they're interested is, we look at hourly updates of ozone through different websites. Airnow.gov is a federal site, and so KDHE information is updated there every hour. And so you can check our monitors and see how things are improving or worsening depending on the day, and get an idea instead of necessarily having to wait and receive an update via social media or something like that. If you wanted to be more proactive, that's something people could do.
Now, as far as tracking our local data and that sort of thing, I'm going to butcher it here, like how we measure our high ozone days. So I will let you explain it. But we take like the average top 3 readings or something like that. There was something along those lines where we take the average readings and so many. Can you explain how that process works?
Sure. So it's actually a bit complicated. We take several averages. So we have hourly averages, and then the day is based on an 8-hour high. So they take the highest 8-hour block during the day, and that is considered our daily high. And then we have, yearly averages, but then we are also, our attainment is based on a 3-year rolling average. So maybe if we have 1 year that's not so great, that is still averaged out over 3 years. They really try and give some wiggle room there, so that one high day is really not going to bring you down too much. So there's a lot of opportunity to have our trend lower, but one day isn't gonna bring us down.
Yeah.
Very good. And we have 2-3 monitoring stations throughout.
Yes, we have 3. Okay. One at the health department, one in northern Sedgwick County, and then the PEC monitor, which is south of us.
Very good.
Yeah. So I find that stuff really interesting, and it's fun. It's fun to monitor that stuff. Yeah. So some people might see the how does that differ, I guess, to the air monitor that you might see on your phone weather app. They've kind of started doing that in the last 2 years or so. And some people write in and ask about high ozone if they see something on their weather app. How does what we report differ from that?
So I'm not sure entirely what source the weather apps use, but there are places like Purple Air where there's community monitoring going on. Those aren't always necessarily at the same level as the federal monitors. They might have a little bit of inaccuracy to them, but they're still, fine enough for people to get a general idea of how things are going. As far as what, weather.com reports or something like that, I don't know how frequently those are updated, but I would assume that they usually only report something once it's starting to tick upwards. We generally only report once it's becoming an issue.
Yeah.
I've seen, very low, moderate, like 52. That's not a cause for concern. I've seen that reported through weather apps. And so it might be a lot of information. It might throw people off a little bit. Moderate air can be a concern for those who have really, really serious respiratory conditions. But to the vast majority of the public, usually we only see a concern once it starts hitting AQI of 100 or so. So I'm not sure, how the public interprets that, but there may need to be some education there as far as how to look at those numbers and how to read them and what's healthy and what's not.
Yeah, definitely.
So we send those high ozone alert days out often. So what are some ways people should be tuning in to get that information?
We have our website, which is beairawareks.org. People can sign up for our listserv there. We will send out an e-blast anytime that there is high ozone predicted, and follow us on social media. We usually post then when it's looking like the forecast is going to have high ozone. I would say those are the best ways to do that.
Yeah. Good. All right, joke time.
Joke time.
You want to go first?
Sure. I don't know if you guys have heard this before.
It's going to be great.
I'm sure. What did the buffalo say to his kid when he dropped him off at school?
Bison.
Bison. Yep.
Yeah. It's a very Kansas appropriate joke.
I like it.
I follow, what was it, Doc Talk? Or I think that's what it's called.
Doc
on
Talk
TikTok. Yeah, they sit on a dock. Two guys sit on a dock and tell dad jokes, and I think that's one they've used.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
Very good.
That's great.
Go ahead, Megan.
All right, mine are insect theme. You know how passionate I am about insects.
Yes.
Time flies like an arrow, but fruit flies like a banana. That's it. That's the whole thing. There's no riddle. That's it.
Bad.
I know.
Okay.
I've got one more. A dung beetle walks into a bar, and he walks up and he says, "Is this stool taken?"
It's slowly getting better. You got more?
No, I'm done.
Maybe you'll get a laugh out
I'm
of
done.
it.
I'm sorry.
So, last night I was helping my daughter with her homework. She was doing math, and I learned that the difference between a numerator and a I cannot talk today. Words are hard. Numerator and a
Denominator.
Thank you. Is just a short line. Only a fraction of people know this.
Oh, that's good. That's like an excellent dad joke. Like that is
prime dad joke.
That's an Alan King dad joke. Yeah. He likes his. Actually, his are much better than that. He's got very good math jokes.
Yeah, it's always the math with him. So. I don't know why, but he's a master at the dad jokes. Alan King, or Director of Public Works and Utilities.
I'll have to ask him the next time we're in a meeting.
Yeah.
With all of his dad jokes that he has, we have not had him on the show yet. We need to get him on here.
Oh, we really should.
So
he's also just the nicest guy, but in the speediest little car I've ever seen. It's very fancy.
Yeah, like very nice. You want one more?
Yeah.
What did Yoda say when he saw himself in 4K?
I don't know.
HDMI.
Okay. Oh my goodness.
I'm not proud of you. All right.
That's all we got.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. If you have any comments, questions, feedback, you have jokes you want to share, please email us at social@wichita.gov. We have shared on the show. So, again, thanks for watching.